We have a very distinguished panel and be extremely informative. These are, frankly, two of the most thoughtful, respected individuals who understand this region and illicit finance transactions in this region better than anyone I know. I would like to recognize Sarah Paquet, who will join us virtually. She's chairman of the Egmont Group and the director and CEO of FINTRAC, which is the Canadian FIU. So we thank you, Ms. Sarah Paquet. Also, Mr. Joseph Humeyer, executive director for the Center for the Secure Free Society, and Ms. Selena Real-Ullo, professor of practice for the William J. Perry Center for Hemispheric Defense Studies at the National Defense University. We will begin with Ms. Sarah Paquet, who will join us virtually. Ms. Paquet, we thank you for being with us.
Thank you, and dear guests of the Parliamentary and Security Forum for the opportunity to speak at this event today and accommodate.
We don't have a good connection, Ms. Paquet. The connection is not good. Do you want to reconnect? And maybe it'll be better, and we'll start the program. I'm going to start with Mr. Humeyer, and then...
Do you hear better? Do you hear me? Okay.
You can please go again if you want.
Do you hear me well now?
It's much better.
Okay. So do you want me to start?
That sounds very good.
Okay. So sorry about that, and a big thank you for having me today, and a big thank you for accommodating the fact that I'm here with you virtually. Those events are very important. They bring together parliamentarians, government officials, experts, and it's an excellent opportunity for us to bring together the best practices for combating the shared threats that we all face. At FINTRAC, our vision is safe Canadian, safe economy. And we realize in an interconnected world where illicit finance can easily move from country to country, the best way to achieve this vision is through strong international collaboration. I have with me today Caleb Galligan, who's helping me with the presentation, and Deputy Director of Intelligence for FINTRAC, Barry McCulloch. Next page. So I will give you an overview of FINTRAC mandates and activities. I will describe some of the key illicit finance methods and techniques we have identified in the Canadian context. And then I will provide some real-life example of those techniques. FINTRAC is Canada Financial Intelligence Unit. Next slide, please. Our mandate is to facilitate the detection, prevention, and deterrence of money laundering and terrorist activity financing while ensuring the protection of personal information. FINTRAC was designed to safeguard the integrity of Canada's financial system and global financial framework while respecting the privacy of individuals and companies. So FINTRAC is like all the other FIUs that are also member of the Egmont Group. So next slide. At FINTRAC, we have two key functions. It's compliance and intelligence. So on the compliance sector is responsible for conducting compliance activities such as receiving financial reports, providing guidance to reporting ITT, but also ensuring through examination that they meet their obligation. On the strategic side, we have the tactical side, which produce and disseminate tactical financial intelligence to our law enforcement. But we also have the strategic side, which use quantitative and qualitative research methods and advanced analytic techniques to identify and report on trends and patterns. On my next topic is the public-private partnership. That's one of the methods we use that has proven to be extremely efficient. Those PPPs are initiated by financial institutions who serve as project leads for the project. They work with FIUs, but they also work with law enforcement. Since 2016, we launched 5 projects. The first one was Project Protect, which was led by BMO. And the initiative was to combat the laundering of proceeds derived from domestic human sex trafficking. The second one was Chameleon, led by HSBC, and it was to combat romance scam. The third one was Project Guardian, led by CIBC, which was to combat the drug trafficking of fentanyl. The fourth one was Project Athena, which was led by RBC and was to combat money laundering activities, in particular underground banking and professional money launderings that we are going to talk a little bit more today. And our last one, Project Shadow, was to combat child sexual exploitation and is led by Scotiabank. So moving to the specific issue of illicit finance, the next portion of my presentation will describe illicit finance mechanism. Financial intelligence units around the world, in light of the transaction report they receive and their specialized expertise in the analysis of financial flows, are well positioned to detect and deter illegal financing method and techniques through collaboration with law enforcement and the private sector. Through our analysis, our database of financial law enforcement information and operations report, FINTRAC, as other FIUs in the world, is able to make several high-level observations regarding illicit financial flows. The illicit financial flows are defined by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime as financial flows that are illicit in origin, transfer, or use, that reflect a transfer of value, and that cross country borders. On the next slide, you have a screenshot of FINTRAC on professional money laundering through trade-based money laundering and money services business. So this is publicly available on our website. But what you will find in this Ops alert is professional money launderers are critical to facilitating this illicit financial flows. PMLs are third party. They are not involved in the commission of the predicate offense itself, but they receive profit and benefit from facilitating the money laundering for others. They may operate with a network that includes money collectors and coordinators. They are coordinating the cash pickups and the money mules. They also use international money controllers who broker money laundering deals on behalf of transnational organized crime. So the FIUs are playing a key role in facilitating this collaboration and giving the insight needed from the financial activity ongoing in all the jurisdictions. Next slide. The FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, defines 3 broad categories of methods used to hide illicit funds and then formal economy. You have the movement of value through the formal financial system. You also have the physical movement of banknotes using methods such as cash courier or bulk cash smuggling. And you also have the movement of value through international trade, which is what we refer as trade-based money laundering, or TBML. Trading companies and trade-based money laundering techniques are used to launder critical proceeds on behalf of transnational organized crime groups through legitimate trade and or by commingling illicit proceeds with legitimate trade payment. So you can have proceeds of crime money going to another country to buy perfumes. And then the perfume are shipped back into the country of origin, which are the perfumes are sold, and then the criminals have the money of the drugs back into their pocket. So next slide. Counter illicit finance through finance intelligence. What I want to do now is really draw your attention to 3 case studies that we have seen are happening right now. in Canada. So the first one is about trade-based money laundering. So in this case, we had a textile wholesaler located in Canada that was receiving a lot of money from different Latin American companies. The same individual was also traveling to those Latin American countries, but as well as China and Hong Kong, and was coming back with luggage full of cash, different currencies, US dollars, euros, Colombian pesos, and they were disclosed at the borders, but still an interesting behavior. And we also saw that this textile wholesaler was immediately sending money to shell company in China and Hong Kong. And after that, we, following the money, we realized that those companies in China and Hong Kong were sending the money directly back to Latin America. So looking at the intelligence, we realized that one of the correspondent bank was in Canada. So we use our compliance sector to go talk to the bank, do an exam, evaluate the risk tolerance, and after that, more information was requested from those companies. The bank sees their activities with those companies. My next case study is about professional money launderer. If you look at the middle of the slide, you will really see how the organized crime group is structured. So you have the gambling well, and who recruits the casino gamblers, you have the real estate developers, and you have two professional money launderers. So top left is the TBML, where China and Hong Kong shell companies are wiring millions of dollars to Canada. Top right, you have the money launderers nominee. Bottom right, you have the money services businesses, which may be owned or used by the PML. You have the legal profession, which is retained to facilitate real estate transaction or the establishment of shell companies. You have real estate developers that are ties and are involved in loan fraud, casino gambling, and illegal enterprise. And at the bottom left, you have the gamblers who are repaying the Canadian well with wiring funds from their account to China and Hong Kong. So that's a very good example of how they are organized. The next case study is a money mule profile involving casino. So the step-by-step summary is the mule is first receiving money from the professional money launderer, which deposit in an account that has been just created or had very little activities before. When the funds are deposited, they are layered via a casino transaction. So in this example, purchase of bank drafts or to itself or to other third party, and then those bank drafts are negotiated in casinos where they engage in no or limited gambling activities. There are also cash withdrawal and credit cash card advance that are used at casino ATMs. And you can see how that all goes. So a little bit of gambling, then the mule will take the money back and deposit the money back into his own bank account. And through our indicators, we have a note when those suspicious transactions are happening that the money was returned as funds and they were not for casino winnings. So when those indicators are appearing in our system, we have suspicion that money laundering is happening. And in that case in particular, the suspicious transaction report indicated that 3 million Canadian dollars was deposited in that mule account during a period of 9 months. And then when asked about the money, the person was always answering that the source was casino winning. So in this example and the others, the goal is always the same for professional money laundering, is to utilize those methodology to bring cash, illicit cash, into our regular financial system. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Paquet. And now we'll have Mr. Joseph Humeyer, the Executive Director for the Center for Secure Free Society.